This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 849, Croesus the Fungi. Enjoy. Tanis, I took you to a public instance, and we'll talk about the public instances right after this. How did you, well, I'll get the exact words out of your mouth. How did it go for you? Because this is the first front you've been able to experience on launch week.
Yeah, I was really, really, really excited. Couldn't wait. Got off work and immediately, we started. I think you texted me like, "Hey, you want to try to get a kill?" Like, sure, let's do this. And later that night, we went down, and I had been down a little bit before just to check out the area. Like I said, it was gorgeous. When we went into the instance, I immediately started looking around and could tell there was going to be a lot of visual clutter. And it was big, so field of view was probably going to come into play.
Another thing that even I noticed is that they're doing things in this day and age where it's not easy to tell unless you mouse over things what is immediately interactable. I don't know if you were there, Taxi, but I actually had to ask someone for help in finding the deposit box because I couldn't see it because I didn't know it was interactable.
It just looks like rubble.
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were either. It took me a couple of kills. Thankfully, I didn't need them at the time.
Yeah.
My first day was 8-man.
I mean, going into it, I was prepared to, I knew enough to know to go to, one of the corners, you needed 2 people per quadrant or whatever. I knew enough to go counterclockwise. So I had a basic understanding of how it worked. But every one of the mechanics you said, I got smashed by, could not get out of the way, just couldn't get out of the way. That was it was the main issue.
Yeah.
The colors with the core and clicking on that, there's just no excuse. They know better than that.
How is the smoke? Because the smoke is yellow, green, red, or blue, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the smoke attacks.
I didn't even know it had different colors. I couldn't tell that.
I mean, it drains a skill. You just look at what skill's drained. If that's the one you're using, you restore. But yeah.
How hard is it, a question for you, Tanis, to have an eye on your buff bar? Because it does show in your buff bar when skills are drained.
Oh, it just depends. If I want to slam it closer to my character, then that's fine. But how much, you can only get things so close and still be able to interact with stuff around you.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So they are set to click through, but yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I was a little bummed out. I mean, like I said, it's the tale of 2 bosses for me, because on an accessibility level, I hate to say it, but it's probably one of the most inaccessible bosses there is. Not only just because of the pure mechanics of the boss and how those are hard to navigate, but also in the fact that you need the teams, and the teams are unforgiving, and especially when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, someone that might have a little bit thinner skin would probably really get upset.
Well, can I tip this on its head? How does this feel accessibility-wise if you are comparing it to minigames? Because one way that this feels to me is this feels like Barbarian Assault almost with a drop table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't interacted a lot with Barbarian Assault, but I've heard a lot of the same things, which is why I've never took it on. Because I don't know. I mean, I have to learn with a team essentially. There's really no other way. And I just think it's a bummer because skilling is it's great if you can skill together, but how many skills do you skill together? I mean, most of the time, everybody is skilling. They might be doing different skills, and you're hanging out on voice and just shooting shit. And I don't know.
It's a question of. Go for it, Dennis.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I feel they're too punishing. I feel that they were trying to mimic a normal boss encounter so much that it puts so much emphasis on movement that's not how you skill. That's not the core of skilling.
I'm going to devil's advocate here for this one.
I wonder if you're going to make the same point I was just thinking. Go for it.
Which, there's a couple of things to say. I think that this opens up content for a new group of people. So I think this is your hardcore skillers who want to have the group experience. I think this is something that gives that to them versus like Big Game Hunter, which I would say is an equivalent kind of PVM skilling, but only solo. And if there was no other skilling content that was PVM-like, I would say this may be less so. I think this is one of those, you get variety of content for variety of players. I think this is something that will appeal to those people, but once again, this says nothing for the accessibility of it. This is just, it's a variety of content. And that would be the argument that I would make for it, to kind of counteract the, like, skillers don't do people, which, fair enough. In all honesty, fair enough.
Well, I mean, it's not that, there are skills, dungeoneering is a team skill, but a lot of people would call that a mini game, right? It's just that the core, or at least the way that I see skilling a lot of times is you are maximizing for XP. You're trying to gather as much as you can. You're doing, like, you're pushing to the limit, but that limit rarely has to do with you blading, diving around the room and surging and that's not how skilling works. Like teamwork, yes, teamwork is involved in some skills, but it's a whole different. I mean, even when you think about like dungeoneering, it's a whole different way that team interacts and the way that it's calling out. So I hate to say it, but I almost feel like Big Game Hunter is more of a skilling boss and in the way that like old school has skilling bosses. I really feel like this. I love the fact that it exists.
Diving around an arena.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
I hear you.
Yeah,
old school you can solo the things. It takes 40 minutes, but it's something that there's not necessarily a punishment for it. It's just your ability to last that long. This is it will kill you before then unless you are cheesing it with bug.
Well, and that's the thing that I just feel like it is very punishing because they wanted to mimic that peril or whatever.
Right.
And I understand that. It's just that literally with a few hits, I'm out and there's no margin for error. It's hard to learn if you don't have a team. Like I said, there's so much visual clutter. Shane, when you just said about running through the mushrooms, I didn't even know I was getting hit that hard.
Yeah,
every time.
And see, that's the thing, is that if you remove all these accessibility problems, I honestly think you would have a different opinion of this.
I probably will. That's why I said that's why I am of two minds. I'm so happy it exists, and I do think it fits a RS3 vision.
Yeah.
I wish that vision was a little less punishing and maybe a little fewer people.
I'm going to say this. This is in my top 5 potential contenders for update of the year so far.
Well, it's really enjoyable. The ecosystem that it brought to the game.
That's it.
Money for the skillers.
It's the star of the show. I mean, it really is.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.